Guys, welcome back to Makeup Bag Monday. If you're new, I'm Serein and this is Makeup Bag Monday week number 26. Basically, every Monday I come back and I share with you what I thought about products that I rotate into my makeup bag to test out for a full week. This is new products I might have forgotten about in my makeup collection, or products that I just want to try and use up. So you guys have really been enjoying this series and I decided to keep it going. And at the end of the video, I share with you guys what I'll be testing out for the upcoming week. So if you'd like to see what I thought of Makeup Bag Monday, week number 25, all those products, then just keep on watching. So last week there was no Makeup Bag Monday, so I'm kind of just like bringing you a double week, if that makes sense. If you guys don't know, my mom passed away last week and I just needed to take a week to kind of like reorganize my life and kind of process everything. It's still hard for me to process everything, like every time I have a moment and I'm like, oh wait, my mom's not here anymore. These products were really tested out for the last 2 weeks because leading up to my mom's passing, I was at the hospital a lot and there was a lot of crying happening and just a lot of stress and a lot of emotions. So I really put this stuff to the test and I'm going to share with you guys my thoughts. It was a lot of Zoeva products and then a concealer. The first item I want to talk about, and is probably my favorite thing I tested out last week, is the Zoeva Brow Spectrum. This is the perfect little all-in-one brow palette. I love brow powders. It's easier to control, it's really easy to use, and I think it's like a foolproof way of shaping your brows. It's kind of like also the fastest way to do it in my opinion. So I've been using brow powders since I began using makeup, and this is really the perfect kit for anybody who maybe needs a makeup kit or who changes their hair a lot, or if you just want it because you really have beautiful, beautiful brow colors. And I've been really using the shade Bro 80 and 90 because I do have ash blonde hair underneath. I don't know how well this lighting picks it up, but so I like to mix these two and it gives me a little bit of dimension. You also have these highlights that you can highlight your brow bone. So all these other powders, you can use them as eyeshadows because they're quite pigmented and I don't find issues with my brows wearing off throughout the day, but I also don't really touch my eyebrows that much. So I really like this one. And if you are worried about your eyebrows moving, Zoeva has these brow pencils called the Graphic Brow. I have 3 shades and I have to say they're not the easiest to work with, but I don't really like using pencils because it just takes me longer. Brow powders are easier and so are pomades for me. So this is really thin and they're waterproof and kind of budge proof. I don't know how waterproof they really are, but they did last a lot longer than just using the brow powder alone. So what I would do on most days is actually shape my brows with this. It's a retractable. It kind of is almost the same size as the Anastasia Brow Wiz, which is really good. The spoolie is just not quite as lovable as the Anastasia one. The Anastasia one is just like the best brow spoolie on earth. This one is kind of, it's good, it's not bad, just not as good as that one, but the product itself reminds me a lot of the Brow Wiz. So what I do is like shape out my brows and kind of draw in the brow hairs right around here, and then I'd go in with the brow powder to kind of fill it in. It gives it more like a 3D look. So really enjoyed these as well, but for day to day, I find myself just grabbing for the brow powders. So if you have bushy brows or like thicker brows that you need to tame, what I would do on days that I just used the brow powder, I would also set it with the Graphic Brow Fix from Zoeva, and I have the shade Bistri. And what I would do with this is I would just set the brow powder so that I felt like it had an extra layer of color and like sealant almost. This is not crispy. It's not going to stick your brows down. It's not going to feel like hairspray on the brows, which I prefer. I hate when my brows feel crispy and hard. Hate it, hate it, hate it. So this is actually good for me. Now, if you want that like crisp brow, this is not the product for you. But I love this spoolie. I feel like this spoolie is really, really nice. It distributes the product well and it brushes through my brows really, really nicely. Like I really enjoyed this little brow mascara. I just think it looks so good. at my brows right now. It does come in other shades, but I think Bastiri worked really well for me. Now the eyeshadow palette I've been testing out from Zoeva is their matte palette, and these are beautiful. I found myself reaching for Hawks, which is my like all over lid, and then I would use across the street all over the lid right here in the center, and then I would use Urban Culture and Eerily Empty. Like I would use these two shades in my crease, and then this cheap bar is beautiful to deepen up that crease, and then I would mix between 2 Clocks and Lonely City, this plummy shade, to do like an outer corner. It's just a really beautiful matte palette. The pigmentation is really nice. It's not powdery. It's not going to have a lot of like fallout. It lasts all day. I did not wear an eyeshadow primer, but I did prime it with using Nighthawks all over the lid, and I didn't have any issues with it even when I was crying. I feel like it wore really nicely. It might have worn off a little bit on a long night, but not in a way that I felt like I looked awful, but I don't know, maybe I did, who knows. And the other thing is, like, Lost in Thoughts, this shade would make a beautiful brow shade for those of you guys who are blonde. So this would be a really good travel palette, I feel like. I really like the Cocoa Blends palette that they have from Zoeva. So this one does not disappoint. I think the quality is really nice. The price point is really nice for it, and it's nice sleek packaging. So no complaints here. Really enjoyed this palette. I also tested out the Tarteist Pro Glow palette, and I have to be completely honest, I like some of it and I don't like other parts. First of all, this packaging is huge, so it's not something I would travel with just because it's so kind of bulky and heavy, which is a bummer because I really love the cream bronzer and the sculpt powder. Now, I don't know how universally flattering these are or how you could sculpt if you are deeper skin tones, because I feel like this is the perfect shade for me. So this is definitely geared for light to medium, and I love, love, love the cream. It reminds me a lot of my much more expensive Hourglass Illu Trio and my Tom Ford Shade and Light palette, which I don't even own anymore because that stuff went bad on me and I haven't repurchased it. Now the sculpt powder reminds me a lot of the Kevyn Aucoin one. It's not quite as blendable, but it's still very workable and very blendable. And then the highlights, while they swatch beautifully and look beautiful when I swatch them, they didn't really look that good on me. And I don't know why. I tried Stunner a lot because I thought maybe this would look better with my hair, but I just felt like it wasn't showing up enough on my cheekbones, and then when I finally like built it up, it was like too much. The highlights were a little bit of a miss for me, but the contour duo was perfect. Now the other thing I don't like about this is every time I use the highlight powder would kick into the sculpt cream or the shade cream, and then I would have to like wipe off the powdery residue on top of the cream shade, and I'm too like organized and clean about that kind of stuff for me to constantly reach for it because of that, if that makes sense. So that's kind of like a downfall of the design. I don't know if they could have like added a little plastic sheet over it so we could maybe not get kickback into here. I don't know what the deal is. But honestly, if they just sold it with these two bottom shades, I would totally recommend it 100%. Now, as a whole, I don't know. It just didn't really fit for my skin tone, the highlights. I revisited my BareMinerals BareSkin Serum Concealer, and I really love this concealer. I just think I have to get rid of it because, well, it doesn't smell yet. I want to say it's been a year. I just feel like it's getting a little gross. So I wanted to give it one last go. I really do recommend this concealer, especially if you want a very light, liquidy, creamy concealer. This is very liquidy, so it blends really nicely, and then a little goes a long way. It's got great coverage and great pigmentation. It does a really nice job at kind of minimizing the fine lines, but you do have to set it because it is very emollient. With anything that's very creamy and emollient, you do have to set it immediately. I think I need to get another one. I'm in the shade Light if you guys are interested. I have to use up a couple more concealers, but this is definitely a repurchase for me, and I just really enjoy it. It's a great concealer, and I don't feel like enough people talk about it because it is, I like it. Dare I say, I like it more than the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. Yep, I said it. also tested out some Zoeva brushes for the first time, and I have to say I'm quite impressed with the quality of these brushes. Now, I wouldn't say that I would personally purchase these. These were sent to me. So I'll tell you the ones that I did like and the ones that I didn't really find a purpose for. So this one I really enjoyed for bronzer and for also blush. And this is the 135 Petit Face Definer. It's really, really soft. I love how soft these brushes are. And they just feel really, really nice when you are blending product onto the skin. And I feel like this was perfect for like under the eye, highlight, and bronzer because I was able to have a lot of control with the brush. Now this one is by far my favorite, and this is the 117 Petit Definer brush. This was beautiful for cream products, and I use this to use with the Tarteist cream shade. And I would blend right around here, and then I would just buff it in. You can also use this with foundation. I just love how densely packed it is, but it's also really petite. So for someone with kind of a small face, I feel like I'm able to really have control and do a lot of amazing stuff with this, like cream blush too. I tried to figure out a way to use this Petit fan, and I feel like I just didn't know what to do with it. Like this was too small for highlight and it was too big for my eyes. So not really sure what the purpose I should use this for, but I did like the quality of the dual fiber bristles. I also did not use the precision lip because I don't typically use a lip pencil or a lip brush, but I do like having it on hand for when I'm doing the really bold red lips. This is nice to clean things up. And again, the dual fiber is really precise and also really easy to work with. So I am keeping this in my brush set. This one is one of those things I'm kind of like, I don't really know what to use this for. This is the Fluid Arc, and I know a lot of people would say like use this to contour, but when I use things like this to contour, it never turns out well for me. I much rather prefer these two brushes. While the quality of the brush is really soft, very nicely, densely packed, the bristles look really nice, the quality just feels nice, I feel like this was not the right shape for my use, but these two were. Okay, so that's everything that I was testing out 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to share with you what I will be testing out this coming week. I'm going to be testing out some new products. This week I'm looking at my schedule, and I'm not going to be wearing a ton of makeup, so I picked products that were going to fit in line with what I'm doing for the week. The first thing is, and I'm wearing it today, this is all I'm wearing on my face, this is the Glossier Skin Tint, and I've really been loving it the last couple of days. This is in the shade medium. I haven't been wearing a lot of foundation ever since I found out my mom passed away. I just haven't wanted to put myself together, but I also know that by putting myself together, I will look and feel better. I also know that I can't like go to meetings or work with like nothing as a beauty blogger or YouTuber. I've been wearing this. I've been taking a lot of time with my skincare recently. I always do, but even more so recently just because it kind of helps me de-stress at night. And I find that in the morning after I use my beauty oil and sunblock, I apply this like 8 drops in my hands, and I just pat it onto my face and blend it in, and then I set it with my Ilia translucent powder, and this just gives me a nice flawless like my skin but better. So you still see my skin texture, you still see my freckles and all that stuff, but I'm okay with it, and it's kind of just how I feel right now. My mom never wore foundation or powder. Never. She would wear other makeup, like especially for special occasions, but she never wore foundations. And I kind of feel like part of it is I'm not in the mood to spend a ton of time on my makeup right now. I rather lay in bed or watch TV or play with makeup, like on my hands, like just reorganize. That's how I de-stress. But I also feel like it's like an ode to my mom, like show my skin, show myself, like all my flaws, all my freckles, like that's who I am, and I'm going to be comfortable and confident in it. So I want to kind of honor my mom in that way. I know that sounds so silly or weird, but that's kind of what I'm doing this last week and into this week. So I'm testing out I'm going to be reusing the Glossier Perfecting Skin Tint, and I just really like it. And then going along with that, I wanted to try out this new Dr. Brandt primer. This is the Luminizing Primer, and this is part of the Pores No More collection. BoxyCharm actually sent this to me. I swatched it on my hands, and this was really surprisingly nice. It gives a slight pearlescent finish, and it does have a silicone. So most primers do have a silicone, but it has that slip feel. So it really is very interesting There's a slight fragrance too, but I thought it would be fun to test this out with the Glossier Perfecting Skin Tint, even though today I'm not wearing a primer, I'm just wearing my skin tint. Now the concealer I pulled out and I'm wearing it today, and I haven't used it for a full week, but so far I was like, what? This stuff is amazing and nobody talks about it. This is the Perricone MD concealer, no concealer with broad spectrum SPF 35. I didn't even know that there's SPF 35. So this I've been wearing under my eyes, and it like blends so flawlessly, and I don't even feel like I have to set it, but I do. But like I don't have to set it immediately, even though it's like really creamy. So I am obsessed with this concealer. This is like, why does nobody talk about this? Anyways, going to try it out for a full week and get back to you guys on my final thoughts. These Bite Multi-Sticks. Now I bought these. I thought I was gonna play with them. I never did. I swatched them and I still haven't played with them truly. So I have Cerise. This is like a really pretty like mauvey burgundy shade. And what these are supposed to be like, you can use them on your eyes, your cheeks, or your lips. This is the shade Blondie, which I thought would be nice to kind of like maybe contour with and use as an eyeshadow. Who knows? I think I probably shouldn't have bought these because I have yet to use them. This is the Mascarpone, and this is like a really pretty mauvey shade. So I pulled these out to see like, am I going to play with these or am I going to toss them? Not toss them, but you know, pass them on to someone who will enjoy them. Another thing is I've been wearing these MAC paint pots, and this is in the shade Groundwork, which I bought because Ingrid was talking about it as her best of 2016, and I bought it because I love it. It's really pretty, easy to use. It's a matte finish. But then while I was shopping for MAC products, I fell in love with Indian Wood, and that's what I'm wearing all over my lids today. It's a little bit more bronzy, a little bit more shimmery, and what I've been loving with these paint pots is I just use my ring finger, pat it in, and blend it into the crease, and that's all I've been doing for my eye look, and then mascara. So again, that's all I'm wearing today, and I really wanted to pull these out again for those no makeup, quick, like just no fuss looks. But for when I do have a meeting or when I am going to go out, I am pulling out this new Stila palette that I got. This is the Matte and Metals eyeshadow palette. This is beautiful, and what I can do with the paint pots is I can deepen up my eyeshadow look by using these beautiful metals and some of these beautiful mattes. Now I got a ton of new Stila products recently in my newest PR unboxing. I did a PR unboxing over on my second channel, More Serein, but I also recently did my first ever YouTube live unboxing. So it was real-time PR unboxing. That is on my channel too. I'll have that linked in the cards if I can. I think I can. And yeah, so if you guys really enjoy the real-time unboxings where you guys throw me questions and ask me questions as I'm unboxing things, then I will try and do more of those, maybe at least once every other week or something like that. I really do like Stila eyeshadows. Another thing I'm not testing out for the week, but I've been using on and off, are these new Stila Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow. This is what I've been wearing on the inner corners, not today, but in my other recent videos, and you guys were like loving the eye makeup. It's really just 2 dots of that stuff. It's beautiful, really pigmented, really love that stuff. 2 items. I have 2 more items I'll be testing out next week. This is the Kevyn Aucoin Sahara Golden Rose Glow. It's the Neo Highlight, and I'm so excited about this. This is so beautiful. I unboxed this in my YouTube live video, and I literally like freaked out when I saw this. And I'm so glad I didn't buy it in stores because I almost bought it at Sephora the other day. I've been doing a lot of retail therapy, so stay tuned. Huge makeup haul coming up. But I can't wait to dig my fingers into this, or my brush into this. Finally, I'm going to be testing out the Estee Lauder, the Brow Multitasker. This is a 3-in-1. So you're gonna have the brow pencil, this is angled, and then I have the brow powder, which I thought was really unique, and then you also have the little spoolie over here. So I thought this was really cool. I'm really excited to play with this. I didn't even know Estee Lauder made this because I think it's a really great product. So that is everything I'll be testing out. If you want to see swatches and inserts of me applying the product, then make sure you check back next Monday. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I upload 4 new videos here on my channel every week. Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays are a new podcast episode every week, starting this week, February 17th. Behind the Beauty Season 2 is back. So you can listen to it on iTunes directly via Libsyn. Both links are in the description box. Or now for Season 2, it's now being uploaded on my channel every Friday. So I'm very excited. We have amazing guests. This Friday is going to be the marketing director of Pravana, and the following week is going to be product development from Boscia. So we've got amazing guests, guys, and we also have John from Renpure, who I'm like obsessed with right now. And then we've got Cicely. We have Anne from Cicely, who does product development and marketing for makeup. So I'm just so excited with all the guests we have coming, and we have an amazing roster. So make sure you follow the Behind the Beauty podcast Instagram. It's at behind.the.beauty.podcast. You can also sign up for the Behind the Beauty newsletter, and we'll let you know whenever there's a new episode, giveaway, or any news related to the podcast. All of that is in the description box, and you can also check out the links via any of the show notes or any of those videos. So I hope to see you guys back here on Wednesday for a new video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up. If anything, I hope my videos help motivate and inspire you to look and feel your best from the outside in. I know when I look and feel my best, I'm just a lot more capable at dealing with whatever life has to throw at me, especially in the last few weeks. And I want to thank you guys so much for all of your continued support. I am still making videos and working because that's what gets me through each day, and I have to have a task. I have to have something to do, and I have to have a purpose. And I was talking to some of my really close friends who knew my mom and who my mom loved, and they said, you know, my mom would never want me to stop what I'm doing because she was my biggest supporter in YouTube and blogging and in life. She just wanted me to be successful and happy and to love what I got to do every day. And I think what is keeping me going and making me myself do these videos and put content out there for you guys, I have taken a little bit of a step back, but the reason I want to keep going and go head first into it isn't because I'm trying to not process the fact that I've lost my mom. It's because that's the best way I can do, that's the best thing I can do to honor my mom and honor what she lived her life for, which was to make sure that I was happy and that I had a career that I loved, and got to make my dreams come true. So to honor my mom, I'm making videos nonstop. I'm going to keep going with the podcasts, and I'm going to keep creating content for you guys. I am obviously taking a little bit of a step back, but that's what is going to happen. And it's also giving me a purpose to get out of bed every day. And of course, I am also going to take time off when I need it. So just know that I am very aware of everything that I'm feeling and dealing with. And I'm incredibly, incredibly grateful for those of you guys who have been on this journey, who have continued to stay with me, and who have sent me cards and who have sent me messages and emails. And just thank you. I can't even say thank you enough. There are no words for how amazing you guys have been in this community, and not just you guys, but the brands and the people that I have met along the way. So thank you so much. And if anything, I hope my video was able to help you take your mind off of whatever it was that you needed to take your mind off of, because that's what YouTube is for me, making videos, watching videos. And I just hope I was able to do that for you more than ever. So until Wednesday, I will see you guys right back here. Bye.